Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. It's me, Lauren Cadillac, aka OG Cadillac, aka Mother of the Decade. Thank you for joining me today. I have so much news, it's like crazy. Hi, Red Bunny, long time no see. Hippista, Chairman, everyone, good morning. Thank you for joining me, I appreciate it. What a week, man. What a week. Okay. First, some major announcements. The Diddy trial has been pushed back a bit. So that means my meet and greet in New York City has been pushed back a bit. It is now going to be on May 27th. So if you're in New York City or like near that area and you would like to meet me in person, come on through May 27th. That's where we're at today. It might change again. I hope not, but it might. This is the way of court, right? Hey, Cherry. Hi, Jaime. Gosh, goodness. All my regulars from the Blast from the Past are back. So welcome. Y'all. Hi, Tall Glass. Good morning. Y'all get in this chat. Oh my goodness. What a week. All right, so let's start with Tay-K. I did a live verdict watch on Tuesday. I sent a message to John Hunter, the attorney for Tay-K, on Wednesday, and I said congratulations, because he saved a man's life. Full stop. Oh, actually, I have more to talk about that is in trial. So we'll talk about Tay-K, and then I'll get into the other stuff. Okay, so if Tay-K had been charged or found guilty of the capital murder charge, because we are in Texas, we do have the death penalty, and therefore he would have been put on death row. So I told John, congratulations, you saved his life. And, you know, of course, then they still have, oh, okay, Purple Paradox, everybody up in here today. Okay, it's a party. Happy Good Friday, everyone. I'm not religious, but happy Good Friday. Okay, so on Wednesday, they continued with the sentencing portion of the trial, and Tay-K was convicted and he was sentenced with 80 years. That's on top of all the time he's been sentenced in other places, so kid is going to spend the rest of his life in jail. Deeply unfortunate because there are victims of his crimes, and of course, he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail. He was obviously young and stupid. Nene is here. Y'all, it is like the OG team up in here today. Welcome. I'm so excited to see all of you. All right, so, Tavonda, shut the... You guys, welcome back. It is so great to see everyone here today. I'm guessing because it's Good Friday, y'all are off or something, so... Welcome. Oh my goodness. It's like an OG Cadillac OG live. This is so great. I love it. Welcome everyone. Okay. So Tay-K was sentenced to the 80 years, but he avoided the death penalty. So that segues into what I want to talk about. I am not someone who talks politics on my channel. Okay, it's very divisive. We know that the United States is torn in two politically, and that's dumb, in my opinion, because we are all Americans. And if you consider yourself a religious person, we are all God's children. So, I am not political. I align with the Constitution. Okay? I align with our rights under the Constitution. However, when it comes to the government being in our personal lives, I'm kind of let's err on the side of no, right? Like, less government is better. We don't need all this interference, right? Like, we have so many damn laws, y'all. And it just doesn't even make sense. Like, why? We don't need that. We do need an audit. There's no doubt an audit needs to be taken, but the audit needs to be taken on why we have so many damn laws and how we can narrow it down. You know, our founding fathers gave us like, what, 10, 12 rules, something like that. 10, I don't remember. It's been a minute since I went to law school, okay? So, like, let's go back to, you know, less is more as much as we can. That's my political stance, okay? But I'm also not like pull the rug out from under us type either, right? Like, I'm not just trying to change tonight. You can't turn the Titanic in 2 minutes, right? And I get that. So progress to where we should be needs to be slow and steady. One thing I used to believe in was the death penalty. I still, in certain circumstances, like if we had video footage and DNA and eyewitnesses, so the actual, you know, whole thing was clearly seen, then okay. And also chomos. All right. However, I do not believe that the government should inflict the death penalty at all. Like, I understand. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. I get it. Okay. What's that movie? A Time to Kill with Samuel L. Jackson, right? He says, of course I did it and I'd do it again. Let that guy free. You know, those men tortured his child. He should have the right. I mean, because he knew they were the ones that tortured him, right? You don't take the law into your own hands. That's not at all what I'm saying. In Texas, this week, there have been 2 school shootings. Like, are we not sick of this shit, y'all? Do we not value life in this country? I guess we don't. Like, I guess we're okay with our babies killing each other. I don't like it. I'm not really cool with killing. I don't think it's right. I'm a mother. I have brought life into this world. I think it is wrong to take it out. I mean, even if the mother's a horrible person, like my own mother, like, you can't strip her of her child. I don't like that. As such, I have decided that once my daughter is an adult, because you know how people be to the kids, I'm going to run for president. 2032. Cadillac 2032, y'all. I'm done. I've crossed the threshold. The first high school shooting in Dallas was like 2 weeks from the anniversary of a high school shooting they had at the same school a year ago. So obviously, no, you're not doing anything. Obviously, nothing is changing. You can't have them back to back, year to year, and we just be like, oh, okay, and move on. I do not give a shit if some kid got an extra payment of Social Security because their parent was deceased and the system flubbed. I give a shit that that kid is being shot at in his classroom. I had a horrible childhood. I had an incredibly abusive mother, and school was my sanctuary. School is where I was safe. I'm sorry, y'all. I am done. I am done. Done. By 2032, my son will be a lawyer. I'll put him on my cabinet. He is the smartest guy I know. Putting an end to this shit. Done. I believe in guns. I'm a Texan. We carry guns here. I think they're good. I do not want them in classrooms. And obviously, metal detectors are not enough. We need to totally fix it. Everything needs fixed. All right, I'll step off my high horse now. Soapbox step down from 2032. Vote for you, girl. I want to praise this, but I got ID'd twice on Wednesday. It was like one of the best days of my life. like having kids, you know, like those are really big days, right? But like I got ID'd not once, twice. And I think it's the braces. I might keep them forever, y'all. I really might. Like, I am 43. I got ID'd. Okay. 2032. So, our next case we're going to segue to is this Lori Vallow Daybell lady. We talked about her here before. Y'all know that she was the crazy Mormon mom that like joined the sect of Mormons that like assigned demon levels to people or something in order to be with her gross, fat, ugly boyfriend in Idaho. She had him like axe her kids and he, you know, his wife. Now they're both like serving life, I think, in Idaho. So I actually believe that this trial in Gilbert for the unaliving of her husband that she was married to when she met the gross boyfriend is a waste of taxpayers' money. When I'm president, we're not doing this. No. What we're not doing, first of all, daylight savings is done. That's the first thing we're doing. Fuck daylight savings. I hate that shit. We're choosing a time and we're sticking to it. Not having 4 weeks a year where kids are a nightmare. I'm not doing that. We are done. Stupid. We didn't have that in Arizona. We're going to stick with whatever Arizona does. We're going to choose one time and that's it. I don't care if it's dark at night. I don't care if it's dark in the morning. I don't care. Buy some lights, okay? Another thing we're going to do is we're going to look into this AI usage of the environment because those data centers be taking a lot of environment. And if you want to replace my job with something that eats my world, that's not going to work for me either, okay? Okay. So, I would not allow these double prosecutions like the Tay-K trial. I guess because it was capital, they thought they could get him the death penalty, so it might be worth the tax dollars. But I don't think so. As a Texan paying into the tax base, I don't like that. Why are you wasting my money? He's already in jail on some other shit for 1 million years. Don't waste my money. All right, so Maricopa County is wasting taxpayer dollars with this incredibly silly trial. At least Lori has saved the taxpayers by being her own attorney. At least there's that, okay? The one person who's worried about our wallets is the one who, her own children. That's disgusting, guys. That is disgusting. All right, so, Nene, please start the campaign now. I'm announcing the campaign because y'all are my grassroots. Y'all know me. You see my personality. You know how I am. You get it. Like, this is what you're going to get when I'm president. But we're fixing this shit. All right. So Lori represented herself, which is, again, a relief to the taxpayer dollar, but also the dumbest thing anyone human could ever do. Just because you sat through a trial does not make you capable of being a trial attorney. Okay? No. So we're going to listen now to this like entire audio that was released during trial of Lori calling the insurance company to make a claim on Charles, her husband, who just passed away. If you recall from previous streams, she believed that she was the beneficiary, but Charles had just made his sister the beneficiary because he and Lori were like not having good life together. All right, here we go.
This is Robin. May I have the policy number?
By the way, Robin came and testified in trial. So the reason this isn't hearsay is because Robin is there, so she can be confronted. And Lori's portion, she is a party opponent. All right, so you know I did that huge hearsay video back during Young Thug. You can go listen to it. The reason this is not hearsay is because Robin, who is on the phone with Lori, is on the stand, so she can be confronted about the call, so that gets out of the confrontation clause issue. Yes, they're out of court statements, but they're not being used necessarily for the truth of the matter asserted. And also, they include the voice of a party opponent. So this is going to be allowed.
Sure. It is.
She sounds so chill.
Are you calling in reference to a death claim?
Yes.
Okay, one moment, please. May I have the name of the insured?
L. Charles Vallow.
And who am I speaking with?
This is Lori Vallow.
And your relationship to the insured?
He's my husband.
Okay, so she is talking in present tense, which does, in my mind, think, okay, well, maybe she wasn't planning his death. Because a lot of times when they're planning the death, they'll say, had been. He was my husband. You know, they'll use past tense because they already knew it was going to happen.
Okay, one moment.
Tavana, go to that hearsay video because I talk about the truth of the matter asserted in that, and I go into it deeply.
Okay, ma'am, I'm just going to need to ask you a few questions so that I can open the claim, and then I can go over the claim procedure with you and answer any questions that you may have afterwards.
That would be great.
Okay, first of all, may I have your daytime phone number, please?
Sure. It's 2.
And now Lori is just sitting in this courtroom listening to this, right?
And what was the date of Mr. Vallow's passing?
July 11th.
Look how calm she is.
And what was the cause of his passing?
Now here she really has to think about it. So when I have been married in the past, even thinking about my husband passing would make me cry, just thinking about it. So I tend to be a bit emotional in that way. I don't like it when people are like, oh, well, I would do this in this situation. Well, unless you've been in that situation, you don't know what you would do, so we don't care. It does give me pause, though, as a listener. When the woman asks for the cause of death, and there's silence, and then Lori says, I feel like most people just would be like, you know, heart attack or stroke or, you know, whatever it is. They wouldn't, the and the pause makes me think she's trying to come up with something.
Well, he was shot.
Okay.
So I don't know how I want to put that.
Okay. All right. And I hate to ask, but is it?
Yeah,
you can just say yes or no. Was it a homicide?
No, it was an accident.
An accident. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what state did he pass away in?
Arizona.
Okay.
Interesting that she called it an accident.
To pull up a few other things.
Okay.
The thing is even if you're cheating on your husband and he's accidentally killed by your brother.
Are you aware of who the primary beneficiary of the policy is?
It's me.
Okay, so here's where Robin is thinking, okay, so she asked her if she's aware because Robin sees that the beneficiary and Lori's name are not the same, right? And then so she says, are you aware? And Lori's like, yeah, it's me. And now here's kind of where the claim changes. Because if Lori were in fact the beneficiary, Robin would say, okay, I'm going to need this, this, and this from you, and then we'll send you a check, da-da-da. But listen to what Robin says.
And may I have your, I'm sorry, one moment, my computer just went away for a second. Okay. And may I have your current mailing address?
Sure. It's 5531 South 4 FOUR Peaks PEAKS Place
Okay.
Hold on.
in Chandler, Arizona. 85249.
Okay, ma'am. That is all the information I need to open the claim. What we will do now is review the policy and the file to confirm the beneficiary information and determine the claim requirements that we will need to settle this particular claim. Once we have completed our review, we will prepare a claim packet to send to the named beneficiary once that has been confirmed. And
We'll send a claim packet to the named beneficiary once that's confirmed. I just looked up this house, so while they finish talking, we're gonna scroll through the house together.
And the claim packet can either be mailed or emailed or faxed. How would you like to receive a correspondence?
3-car garage.
Email would be great.
Okay, and what is your email address?
I hate it when the door has like the step. This to me is just a death trap. This is such a hazard. I'm not getting a house with that.
.com. Okay. All right, so you should receive an email from our office within the next 3 to 5 business days or sooner. It will have the instructions listed. Once you receive the information, if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to give our office a call, and then we can go from there.
Can you even sit at this
Okay,
bar?
is there anything I can help you with at this time?
That's it, I think.
Okay, ma'am. Well, I'm very sorry for your loss.
All right, so this is a house. It's nice. She's living in a 3,000 square foot house. Now, I think her and her kids were renting it, but Charles was paying for this and his own place in Houston. I don't like that carpet, guys. This house is pretty, yes, but I mean, there's some things that I don't love. I grew up in the Phoenix area, and a lot of the architecture I don't love. Like, I don't like that mirror. I'm very particular, y'all. Oh, I'm not trying to weigh myself like that. This is like Phoenix. They freaking love it. My parents had this kind of glass in their bathroom growing up. I don't know what's up with that. But this is like a really nice rental house. So this is where, I think this is where Charles was ended. Oh, I love the pool. The little cook thing, that's nice. Now, when I moved to Texas, so I grew up in Arizona, we had cinder block fences like this. I moved to Texas, they have wood fences. I'm like, what the F? What does a wood fence do for you guys? So I like cinder block fences. Although cinder block is really easy to jump over if you're like a good jumper. My first husband could just plop it like so easy. Love the pool. Thing with pools in Phoenix, they don't let you build them like with a deep end. They're all 4 foot in the middle if they're newer than like 1990 something. Okay, so that's where she was living. I think that's where the incident occurred, but I'm not 100% on that. So, all right, here, this is some guy testifying in her trial. I mean, this woman did a terrible job, guys. Never represent yourself in court.
Correct.
Did you also know when that account was opened?
Yes, it was opened in April, exact date, April of 2019, April 21st.
April 21st of 2019. Would that have been when Lori Vallow and Charles Vallow were now in Houston?
Yes.
Did you also note in the context itself reference to requesting Chad Daybell come out to Houston?
I did.
The state will move to admit 289.
Yeah, 3:05 p.m.
And
I think he's
from
reading text.
Lori Vallow, this starts the first one, from Lori Vallow to Alex Cox.
Yes.
Alex is her brother.
So we see Lori Vallow tell her brother that Mel is bringing Bodie over here for you now, so can you
Yes.
So the 9th is the day that Charles and Adam are making their plane reservations?
Yes.
And do we see that Alex tells Lori he'll be over in a bit?
Correct.
And then as we continue on the 9th, we see Lori respond, perfect, thanks, right?
Yes.
And then Alex has to ask for her address, correct?
Yes.
And so on the 9th, Lori Vallow provides her brother with the address she lives at, 5531 South Park East, correct?
Correct.
Yep, that's where it happened. So that is where it happened. That gorgeous house is where it happened. Oh, I bet the landlord was pissed. I'd be pissed. Oh my God, I'd be so mad. Jesus Christ. The cleanup, the expense, then like hard to sell because people know what happened in there. Ugh. Ugh.
And then there appears to be a response from Alex to her AX.
I believe that's probably an attempt to correct the prior state in the above. He spells it AX as well too. So there's an AX below.
Okay. So a little bit later, we see that was at 4:57 p.m., correct?
Yes.
So at 9 o'clock on the 9th, do we see a message from Lori Vallow to Alex Cox? So the plot thickens, call me when you can.
Yes.
Now at that point, when you looked at phone records, did you see any call between Lori Vallow and Alex Cox initially after this first text message?
Not after that first one, no.
So about 47 minutes later, on July 9th, at 9:50 p.m., does Lori Vallow send her brother Alex Cox a message, getting sleepy, so I'm going to need you to stay close to me the next couple days. Mel too. She can't go to Utah. They are planking some kind of intervention, but want Mel out of the way, so I'm left alone. I need to come get the stuff at your house tomorrow and store it or secure it. Lots to do. Thank you for standing by me. It's all coming to a head this week. I will be like Nephi, I am told, and so will you.
It's all coming to a head this week? I feel like I feel like that sounds premeditated, doesn't it? Okay, what is this guy? He's in the Book of Mormon. It describes him in the narrative. He flees Jerusalem. He goes to get a bride's plate. Next time they return. After spending 8 years in the wilderness, family reaches Bam. They go across the sea. They try to kill him, and he leaves, and then becomes a leader. Okay. I'm not sure that I see the connection, but I guess she did. Honestly, guys, my mom was raised Mormon, and like watching these Mormon people in these trials and stuff, especially with that that vlogger mom, I forgot her name, but anyhow, it has really given me like a window into why my childhood was the way it was. It has really answered a lot of questions for me. Okay, he continues.
And then as those messages go along, does Lori Vallow in fact invite Alex over to her house?
Yes.
And he advises, okay.
Yes.
Are there any text messages between them on the 11th of July?
There are none.
Now, the next messages that we show in this, and again, these are not all of the text messages, correct?
Correct.
the 13th of July, correct?
Correct.
And it says, need you, Adam is freaking out. Based upon your understanding of the case and the testimony of Adam Cox, is that when he found out Charles Vallow was dead?
That is correct.
Why did it take, Adam flew there with Charles. Why did it take that long for him to find out that Charles was gone? That's interesting. Let's see if we can. Not really. I don't think the lawyer even did it cross. I don't know.
Your Honor, at this time, the state has no further witnesses. The state will rest.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
the state has rested its case, which means the state's portion of the evidence is done. I'm going to excuse the jury for a few minutes before you go home for the evening. Let me just do consultation with the parties about tomorrow's schedule, and I'll let you know what time to report back. It should just be a couple.
Okay, so as far as I know, the jury is deliberating right now. So I don't think Lori put anything on. Let's see, day 8. Okay, so yesterday was day 8. Hold on, let's see. I haven't been watching because I mean it's just so bad. It's like hard to sit there and just watch her miss just every objection, and at least she saved taxpayers money.
The revised jury instructions from 2 years ago.
Okay, so they did jury instructions yesterday, which means oh, okay, they're coming back Monday. Oh yeah, it's Good Friday. Duh, I forgot. All right. I don't know what to say about her, honestly. It's a fucking train wreck. All I can say is thanks for saving the money of having, the attorney that you're owed by law. I don't know, guys. I got nothing. Like, she's nuts. She's nuts. Okay, when I tell you Wednesday was like one of the greatest days of my life, there were so many amazing things. I had brought my daughter to work, and her and Belinda and I decided to go look at this airplane museum, and then we went to lunch, and it was lovely. And I had so much fun just having my daughter around. She's so great. I love my kids. I love hanging out with them. I had found out the night before, thanks to an Instagram user who sent me a message, and I really appreciate those of you who help keep me updated, because, sometimes I go into the black hole that is my life, and I just forget that everything exists. So I had learned Tuesday night some really exciting news. Brian Steele, our Brian Steele, collectively YSL Steele, has signed on to the Diddy case. Here we go.
Looking to boost his legal team with the help of veteran Atlanta defense attorney Brian Steele. Brian Steele recently represented rapper Young Thug in the YSL RICO trial, where he helped the rapper avert prison time with probation. Well, tonight, new court documents show Steele has requested permission to practice in the southern and eastern districts of New York to appear as counsel for Combs. Combs is currently being held without bond in a Brooklyn jail. He's set to go to trial next month on federal sex trafficking charges.
Are we
Brian?
not dangerously?
Brian Steele is such a baddie. Dude, he's so freaking cool. He is, like, to me, one of the greatest lawyers ever. So Belen was like, oh, I wouldn't touch that case with a 10-foot pole. Neither would I. Personally, if I did defense, I would not do sex crimes. No. But what I told Belen is Brian is, like, done a RICO case. Like, he has done a RICO case, right? He's a badass lawyer. He's willing to sacrifice for his client. He's willing to stand up and do things zealously that many of us would be afraid to do. And he vehemently believes in the Constitution, like your girl, okay? So I believe first, money, second, fame, third, Constitution. Brian loves the Constitution. He probably doesn't rank them in that order, but I would put my... Brian is probably a better human than me. I really just think he is. Based off like his demeanor and his life that I know of. I do. So I got super excited. Well, I was kind of bummed that they moved the trial date yet, because I had to like reschedule my whole meet and greet and all my hotel and da-da-da-da-da. But I emailed the Steele law firm on Wednesday. And I said, hey, I met Brian in Atlanta, and I'm going to be in New York to watch him at Diddy, and I would love to take him out to coffee or ice cream or whatever it is that Brian likes. Colette Steele responded to me directly. I'm tearing up. Like, I have an email in my inbox from the Colette Steele. When I was in Atlanta at Young Thug's trial, there was a point where I went to go walk up to the other lawyers, because obviously I am a fangirl, okay? And Jeffrey got up and went to the bathroom because I think he thought I was like interested in talking to him or something, which I had no interest in. I'm interested in talking to Brian Steele. Brian Steele is my Johnny Cochran. Okay, well, I got some Johnny Cochran. You know, I got to watch the OJ trial, but I was really young, right? So he's like the adult, like my adult Johnny Cochran. That guy is badass. And Colette Steele replied to me. And she said she can't schedule anything for him right now, but to hit him up when it's closer to the date, which is not a no. Y'all, if I could just have like 30 minutes with Brian Steele, like that guy, he is amazing. Like, I just want to ask him, like, what was going on in your mind as you're having to like hand your keys to your to your fellow counsels because you're about to go to jail because you're, zealously advocating and won't violate the rules. Like, what the fudge? When I met him, we talked about, I said, my civil courts, these late evidence, this shit would not fly in civil court. and him and then Adams came up and we all talked about that. Oh, y'all. And I got ID twice that day. Oh, y'all. ID twice. Email from Colette Steele. I might get to meet Brian again. I mean, I'll for sure see him in the courtroom when I'm there. I imagine that he'll kind of recognize me. Like, he probably won't remember who I am or anything, but my look is pretty distinctive, so maybe he'll, like, when I'm like, hey, we met it, he'll be like, oh, that's how you look familiar, that kind of thing, hopefully. Oh, I can't wait. It's like meeting your hero, It's like, oh my God, like, this guy is, if I can meet him, oh my God, getting his autograph. I love him so much. I'm just so excited. And that Colette responded means, like, she's okay with it. She's not like Mike Pence, like, oh, we're gonna, can't eat alone with a woman or whatever. Like, what? I feel like I'm gonna fantasize here. What if Brian and I, like, hit it off and then I get to be friends with the Steele family? Okay, I don't want to go that far. But I'm so excited. Okay, so they moved the Diddy trial to later in May. I think it's like the 15th now. I'm going to go the 26th and 27th. Okay, the 26th is my dad's birthday. He's deceased, but it was his birthday when he was alive. Anyhow, I'll be out there for those 2 days. Hopefully I'll meet with Brian Steele. If not, I still will get to see him when we're in court and stuff. And I hope it doesn't move again, so fingers crossed that it stays again. And let me see. I hope you can come out to the meet and greet on that day. Oh my God, guys, if I meet Brian Steele, it's crazy. Crazy. I don't think it'll be moved again. I'm not sure though. We'll see if they try to move it again, and we'll see what Brian does. Like, will there be some kind of motions that he comes up with now, like preliminary motions, that now that he's on the team, maybe ideas that he has or can come up with that the team hadn't thought of, you know? That will be really cool and interesting. I definitely want his autograph too, Tavonda. I'm like, let me get several of his autographs and maybe I can auction them off or something. That dude is amazing. I just like, I don't know. He's so cool to me. You know, like, you're a nerd if you're like approaching Brian Steele and Young Thug and you go to talk to Brian Steele and you're like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Oh, Tavonda says there's an emergency hearing this morning on Diddy. Let me go, hold on. There was a video that was about to start. Okay, urgent demand. Let's watch this together real quick. Long crime hunt.
And I don't mean by just a few days or
Thank you,
weeks.
Tavonda.
I'm talking months. The defense has just filed a letter with the court accusing the prosecution of not playing fair, and they say they can no longer, in good conscience, have proceedings begin on May 5th. We're going to bring on criminal defense.
Oh, well, no. They're already not beginning on May 5th, so I don't understand what's going on. Oh. Let's see. Oh, he's asking to push it back 2 months. No, he can't push it back 2 months. I'll be out of the country. I already bought my tickets. No, Diddy, don't do this to me. No, Brian, you don't need 2 months. Look, Brian was handed evidence for that day, that morning, and he handled it like a champ. He doesn't need 2 months. Okay, let's see. Oh, they did do that third superseding indictment, so that would give you reason to need more time because now there's like extra charges. So they're asking for 2 months, and because there's like substantial new conduct. Ugh. Oh no. Okay, well. Damn. All right, we'll see. We're gonna watch that very, very closely. Okay, so we're gonna stay up to the minute on the Diddy and Brian Steele, my personal hero. Cadillac 2032. 2032. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's like protect our children again. How about that? Make America safe again. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. You guys are awesome. You always are the best, and I couldn't thank you enough. I appreciate you. Appreciate your likes, your subscribes. My members, thank you. I know I owe you a video. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. I'll get something. I'll figure something out. Tell me what you want. If you are a member, tell me what kind of content you want to see. What do you want to see? What special membership perk do you want? Don't forget to check out my merch, guys. All right. And in the description is like links to the books I like and So thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it so much. And I will see you again next week.